Hi, and welcome to the Future Proof Podcast. This is a podcast we do every month where we talk about what we've been doing, cool stuff we've got coming up. I'm Gregory Avery Weir.
And I'm Melissa Avery Weir. And our top item will not be a surprise to fans.
That's right, we have released the Rosette Diceless Companion. Finally! This is a thing that we have had in the works. I think we originally planned to release it, last year? But
last summer.
Mm-hmm. Certain things have been going on in the world, and I think that we also wanted to make sure it was as full and as polished as it could be. And so we finally got it out. It's a supplemental book for our tabletop role-playing system. It's got new rules. It's got, guidance for how to make your game better, or kind of different things you might not have thought of to try. And let's see, where all is it out? It's out on itch.io in PDF and EPUB form. Mm-hmm. It's on DriveThruRPG in PDF, EPUB, and print-on-demand paperback.
Yep.
And it's on print-on-demand on Amazon, and we'll be talking a little bit shortly. Actually, I guess we can just segue, right?
Sure, yeah.
You've been doing work on our final format.
Yes, so the Kindle version was left hanging out there. We've talked in the past about some of our struggles there, and we finally got it nailed down. It's just a couple of little weird quirks of Kindle's format, and got the markup working, had to do some tweaks to get EPUB and Kindle all in sync, because we don't want to have two different versions of EPUB sitting around. But as of recording, right this very moment, all of the things are in the publishing and review process for Kindle. Some of them are showing sometimes, depending on where you're looking from, and have certain details that are updated or not. So this is an updated version of the original Rosette Diceless Kendall book, which has gotten all of the errata that we made incorporated. And it is the new Diceless Companion Kindle book that can now, be purchased instead of the paperback on Amazon if you want. So super exciting. It had been kind of looming. I was like, okay, if we could just get this done, I'll just feel like the whole thing is finally finished. There won't just be this thing sitting in our backlog. So it's very exciting to have it done and drifting into the world. So by the time this comes out, because I am not getting this out same day, by the time this comes out, Kindle version should be up. And you can find everywhere to get the book, both books, over at rosetterpg.com. If we've got links, everything is laid out there much more clearly than is possible to do verbally on a podcast.
Yeah. Because of the way that Kindle's kind of rules are regarding updating old editions, you won't get an updated version of your Kindle ebook copy of the original book. We've got a whole list of detailed changes and errata. But if that really bugs you, then you can contact us with proof of purchase, and we'll send you a PDF or something of the updated book. But the changes are minor enough that the errata should do you just fine.
Actually, I'm going to geek a little bit about why we're not sending an update, because we had
Sure, go ahead.
Kind of blithely assumed that we could, because I've had books get updated. It was controversial, right? Are they censoring the books? But this is a perfect use case. But
yeah,
because of the way the Kindle format works, where it tracks your bookmarks and your annotations or your highlights by the position in the book, if there's an update to a book, it could very likely blow all those things that you have done away. And so, which is totally something you might do in a role-playing book, right? Is earmark certain sections or have quick reference locations. And so we had, all this time just kind of been la, 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 of course there'll be some button to push, or it'll automatically do it for us or something. And then I looked up sort of the details of how it works, and they're you need to submit 500 pages of documentation, exactly what changed, and so on and so forth. And then they will review and decide if it is the kind of update that needs to be pushed out. So just a word to the wise of why people do or don't update books very often in Kindle format, even though you would think it's digital, you should be able to do so. That's why. So sorry, but also, kind of not, I guess. I hate to mess up people's stuff, right? So
it's kind of good justification for it, honestly. Like,
yeah,
it's
I was surprised.
It's good that they're not just blithely blasting that stuff away.
Exactly. So now that the Diceless Companion is kind of in the bag, kind of wrapped up a little bit. We're still in that post-release glow, but we have turned our eye back to Exploit Zero Day.
Yeah, so we've got our hacktivist puzzle game, web-based. You can make puzzles and share them. You can solve story puzzles. Each puzzle represents a computer system that you're hacking into to help, like, use your skills to assist people who are asking for your help against oppressive corporations and governments and so on. And we've, I think, recently announced the end of one of our release chunks. The Acid Burn release was one of our alpha releases that we've been working on for a while, and that is finished. All the features we had scope for that are done and out, and we're now releasing stuff in Razor, which is currently planned to be our final alpha release, our final batch of alpha content. And there's some cool stuff in it. We've already released cluster images, which I think are really super cool.
Yes, very much so.
Previously we had thumbnails for systems. So when you design a system, you got this colorful, basically, screenshot of the system that or not a screenshot, but a little image of the system that kind of shows its layout, and it'll show up in, like, if you link to a system on Twitter or whatever. That didn't exist for clusters, which are collections of systems. And I'm really proud of the work I did to get cluster thumbnails working, which are, you actually get an even more zoomed out view where, like, every little node on every detail on every cluster on every system ends up in this thumbnail, and it becomes this colorful, like, almost quilt-like look, which I think is real cool. So now, it's the great cluster list, and when you see a cluster in a job, if you link to a cluster, which you should totally do if you think a cluster is cool, just drop a link to it in Twitter or whatever. There's a share link and so on in the game, and it now, like, displays that image and has useful social network stuff instead of just being a big Exploit Zero Day logo, and it's real cool.
Yeah, it's very, very good. I think it is one of those things that helps it feel more like a game in a certain way, like, just to kind of add that bit of sprucing up to it.
Yeah, brings it, into the 21st century. When previously there were a few pages that previously kind of looked a little Web 1.0 almost. And we're working on more stuff to enhance that. So we're going to have the list of jobs, which are like quests in the game, the list of tasks you can do that are story focused. That list is going to get remodeled and enhanced and made to look a little fancier. It'll have pictures of clusters. It'll have a little just a whole bunch of cute cyberpunk interface stuff. And then we're working on a bunch of other stuff beyond, like, normal, fixes and improvements to little things in the interface. We've already added this is invisible to players. We've added the ability to make a job around home clusters, which means that we can soon we'll be putting up a job that is like, hey, make a home cluster, make puzzles, share them with people, and be able to, like, help ease people into that creation and sharing process. And other stuff, like,
we should say what a home cluster is. So home cluster is clusters, like clusters of systems, but it's tied to your profile in a way to say, like, this is like something I'm showcasing, or like something about me or whatever. So it's kind of like a pinned cluster. It's got your name on it, but it costs the in-game currency script to make. So each node in each system costs this script, and you get script by playing missions, by playing jobs, and by solving other people's home clusters. And so there's this little economy in place, and there's no like, you cannot pay real dollars for this, except for the fact that you could pay for Headless Swarm, the story.
I guess you'd get script from that, but
that's
It's definitely not a pay-to-win sort of thing there.
No.
You're paying for story, you're not paying for the script you get.
Exactly. And so by having a home cluster, you're sort of putting yourself into the rotation of like presenting something and saying like, this is my like special good work. Come play it. So we want to encourage folks to have those gently by offering sort of a tutorial-ish part for it.
Yeah. And we've got ideas on other things that script will be used for. Those are down the line. Those are beta and later stuff. But we want part of the thing that will keep Exploit Zero Day interesting and alive is for people to make stuff, and so helping prompt people to do that and kind of giving them a little encouragement and reward for putting stuff out there is definitely something we want to do. Yeah. So you'll be hearing more about Exploit Zero Day Razor in upcoming months. But for now, I don't know. It's a certain kind of season at the moment.
It is a certain kind of season. It is the fall season or the autumn season, or
the spooky season.
The spooky season, yes. And in this season, there tend to be a lot of discounts going on at various storefronts. And we cannot, like, contractually, we can't say when they are, even if we knew them, which some of them we don't.
Yeah.
But they're coming, which means that things like Rosette Diceless, the Majesty of Colors, Ossuary, yes, which is perfect for this season, will be going on discount. As usual, we will discount more steeply on itch.io than we do on Steam. But DriveThruRPG will probably also have something going on. They're a little less under our control. But anyway, This is the season, fall and winter, so keep an eye out for our games, especially if you don't have them or you think someone else would like them and you want to gift them to someone.
And also note that we have bundle deals most places where you can get, if you want to get Rosette and Rosette Companion together, you can do that. Mm-hmm. If you want to, get the Majesty of Colors and Ossuary together, there are extra discounts for that. So definitely stuff to check out if you're like, I need to fill up my library with stuff that we haven't picked up yet.
That's true. I think the only place that doesn't have the book combo will be Amazon, just because that's not a thing that they do. But everywhere else, you can get a discount for buying them as a bundle digitally. So that's exciting.
Yeah, so I'm super jazzed about having gotten Diceless Companion out and working on EZD stuff.
Yes.
If you want to keep up with all of that, you can always check out our stuff in our blog at futureproofgames.com. You can find us on Twitter at PlayFutureProof, which is also the best way to find out when we're streaming on Twitch. We do that every couple weeks and are doing spooky October games. You can find us on YouTube at Futureproof Games, where we eventually archive our streams. And then you can contact us on our blog, on social media, wherever, via email at info@futureproofgames.com if you have questions or comments. Our theme music is Juparo by Broke for Free, which is used with permission. See you next time.